Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give our praises to our Paul, Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Makakadash, Kal, Halalame, Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Makakadash. That's the nation Hebrew, saying all praises to Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, in the name of the Holy Spirit. Yahweh is a great name for the God of the Bible, who the world ignorantly call Jehovah, God, or Yahweh. His son's true name in the Hebrew is Yahushai, who the world ignorantly call Jesus Christ. The true name for the God of the Bible in the Hebrew is Yahweh. His son's true name in the Hebrew is Yahushai. I want to give the honors to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone. And shalom to all the brothers and Modia pushing this word in sincerity and in truth. To all that believe in this gospel. Shalom. Where is Zach from Camp Jimis, Jamaica? Now, this lesson also will be entitled from this lesson here. From this precept here, sorry. Matthew 24 verse 12 says, because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. And let's see if I can get this in the NLT real quick. Bear with me. I'm coming down to that wire, yo. Is when the behavior of people, will be basically is what there's a saying. There's a quote, I would say, from the movie Batman by the Joker. He said, when the chips fall, yeah, you'll see how savage these civilized people become. Yeah. Once things start get difficult, yeah, we say the animal nature of people will come out. And let's read this real quick. Matthew 24 verse 12 in NLT. It says, sin will be rampant everywhere, and the love of many will grow cold. And we're entering that phase. Now, there was a hurricane in Jamaica, and it hit the western parishes severely. And this video here was circulating as well. And let's play it.
Come back from let me tell you, there's some mash up. This can't come back. We have to do the blue thing because we don't know where I get food now, yeah? So I say thing back. But life no with my life no guy. One and two. Yeah? So that will live for you. But for there, swear. There see where we can get.
And remember, even in the movie Green Island, it's like once them give the announcement, so the comic is coming, all it's like chaos broke out in the streets, and I remember the name of the doctor. Him say, oh, that didn't take long, because he was aware there's no vision, the people perish it. Once people are no hope no more, they basically will lose it. And that's the time that we're entering right now, the beginning of sorrows. Which I will see these things happen, in Jamaica. I said the western parishes have been devastated by the hurricane, and they don't see where to come back anytime soon. So, we have western and central, eastern, and central personals from these parishes going down and, carrying heat and so forth. But they're only doing that now, while, to be honest, things is easy. So if here now in Kingston and like eastern parishes, would get hit by any form of devastation, then it's going to be a man for himself, as his brother say, oh, he must do a little looting, because they would say desperate times call for desperate measures, and that's what's going to cause a lot of the evil to unfold, right? Hard times. You're going to see people behaving in ways that you will never expect. Like, for example, now you have women, selling them body rampant now. You see, that increase, yeah? So the level of crime or excuse of sin, have been increasing because the comfort as the regular man know it, or would have it, yeah, that have been removed. Right here we have we did a Google search just to find about this video. This family escape Melissa's in Cheshire water, but um basically they them out a door, the mouse blow down and them out a door, and then basically suffer looters. You have people going into St. Elizabeth and certain areas carrying in they call it now aid, and they're being robbed. That's what's going on right now, and things to really hit shit not hit the fan yet, yo. As when these are the beginning of sorrows. You have people in the US where them have the whole food aid or section aid or whatever them call it. The EMBT. Me a butcher name. But them used to get grants from the government, right? For like elderly or people without employment or people with kids or whatever. And with the government shut down, Trump, working and getting that, you know, cut off. And what are people, coming out and saying that, yo, them a go loot. Them a go walk in a supermarket and take goods, yo. Or else people put them goods and just take it. That's what, a manifest, yo. That's the time that's spreading. It's all done by the elites as well. Them are the one that behind this. Ultimately, how about Shemi Oshai bringing judgment? This is 2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 1. It says, "Know this, know also, that in the last days perilous time shall come." Perilous, go back to like difficulty. Let's get it. Let's look it up real quick in the Merriam-Webster. It's perilous from Alpha and Merriam-Webster. It says full of or involved in peril. Let's get peril real quick. It says exposure to the risk of being injured, destroyed, or lost. Danger. Right? That's a time that's coming, yo. High risk. Wherein your life, yo, is in danger. Cause you don't know where you can get your next meal from. You don't know where you'll survive. No jobs. You know. Right? Society doesn't know this no more. So back to the precept, I said difficult times will come. That's the title. It says 2 Timothy 3 verse 1. It says, "This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy." Because in a day, it gonna come down to the point of, every man for himself. Nigga don't care about for the own survival, regardless of the principles, or regardless of whosoever, being impacted. It says without natural affection, truth breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God. Right? That's what's coming. That's we basically see that manifest, but it gonna increase as the days go by. Let's get this real quick as well. Because in the days it's written, speak unto my people the words of prophecy, and the people are the Israelites, which are the so-called Negroes, Native Americans, Hispanics, Latinos. You are whom these words are unto. This 2 Ezra 5 verse 1. Nevertheless, as coming the tokens, behold, the day shall come, that they which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in a great number, and the way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of faith. But iniquity shall be increased above that which now thou seest, or that thou hast heard long ago. So the level of hell we see, or wickedness we see people are going out right now, they're going to get worse. Because it's going to be desperate, yeah? When people are nothing else to lose, them going to lose it. Society they know it will collapse. Can't go work, get your money, and then go use your card or whatever for go supermarket or the gas station or pay your bills and all of that, gonna be a thing of the past. So you think people going to sit down in the house and dead for hungry? No, them going to take it. Them going to eat the streets, yeah? in whatsoever manner they can. Who can do it by violence, do it by violence. Who can do it by cunningness, do it by cunningness. Who can barter, barter. As written laws obey the precept, the course of the action shall stand in their power. Whatsoever a man of the power to do, that him go and do. Because there will be lawlessness in the streets. Reading back verse 2, it says, but iniquity shall be increased above that which now thou seest, or that thou hast heard long ago. And the land that thou seest now to have root shall thou see wasted suddenly. Right? That's what's coming here. Right, let's get this now. When we get down 2 Corinthians 15. And now I'm going to start at verse 14. It says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draw nigh. And one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. You're going to have people rising up. And you use the word swords here, but sword just mean a weapon of destruction here. So yeah, people go have modern day sword or literal sword or machete or knife, but then go involve gun or whatever. Whatever them fine, inflict harm or defend themselves. It says, verse 16, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor their princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power. So it's clear, so they shall not regard one another. To the point when we go to chapter 6, it tells say even brothers gonna fight. And I'm not referring to brothers in the faith here, like biological family members. This is 2 Ezra 6 verse, we start at 20 main point, verse 24. It says, and when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished, then will I show these tokens. The book shall be opened before the firmament, and they shall see altogether which she likely see in the vision, the whole complete truth. It says, and the children of a year old shall speak with their voices. The woman with child shall bring forth untimely children of 3 or 4 months old, and they shall live and be raised up. And suddenly shall the sown places and appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty, and we can see that happen right now in Jamaica. If it increase, then we'll see. There's a report come out that Jamaica have 2 to 3 weeks supply of fuel. And the main breadbasket sections of the country has been hit again. Cause last year you get hit by a Beryl or hurricane. Get designated or demolished. Right? So things get rough. So all of them fields that we used to plant up in Westmoreland or chiefly Saint Elizabeth or Clarendon or Manchester, them get hit severely. It says, and like for example, certain storehouses where used to host food, just before hurricane, them get running upon, people buy them up, and they know that them section of the island is hit hard. Guess what? And people are buy up again for cargo down there. So right now in Jamaica, majority of the supermarkets, them when you see enough of them still lack whole heap of things. It says, and the trumpet shall give a sound, which whenever man hear it, they shall be suddenly afraid. At that time shall friends fight against one another like enemies. So when shit hit the fan, you're going to see your friends a fight. Last in a mackerel. Right? For power. For survival. That's what it's going to come down to. At first, them going to be like, oh, we are part of the community. We're going to do this by community. You look out for everybody, each one help one, like what they must say no. Until you're going to be groups. They ain't going to be family. They ain't going to be maybe 2 or 3. They ain't going to be every man for himself. They're going to get dwindled. And the more things get harder and harder, resources get less and less. When one mackerel there, one small mackerel there, you look on 10 man, guess what? Then I can share every 10 man and then I want to share every 10 man. So who can actually be the one to keep it and eat it? The strongest. That's what it's coming down to. It says what? And at that time shall friends fight against one another like enemies, and the herd shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountain shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. Say, yeah, most they bring drought upon the earth in certain areas. So that one I say, oh, right? In Jamaica, they like to say, oh, if you dead for your hungry and look how much food that country. Which country now? Show me it. One little hurricane and look at it. Decimated, yo. Back to 2 Ezra 15 and verse 17. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. So it gonna be violence, it gonna be disasters, it gonna be barricades, and as the brother say, oh, you know, hurricane, you recognize how big Kingston is, which Kingston is the smallest parish. But the thing is, we're used to, traversing in cars or taxi. But when transportation, get hit, you have to walk away one go. You see, oh shit, this is far. Because somewhere you used to drive, it take you a couple of minutes. Now, it take you a couple of hours or more. Difficult. It says, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods, because of the lack of bread, and for great tribulation. Again, that's why the man said, what? They have to do a little bit of looting. And you want with them video, but that come out a lot. Cause hard time going now, people literally don't that starve. So them not going to sit and starve while, food over there, so regardless of who own it, the more make a move. And this is coming to the globe, whole world, and the only way out is truly for you Israelites turn into Yahweh Shem Shai. So I'm going to turn to the devil and take the chip, for that short term, what appears to be hid. Right? But the scripture says, he that seek to save his life shall lose it. Right? And he that loses his life for my sake, for Yahweh Shem Shai's sake, shall find it. But I just wanted that lesson. Alright, so reports coming out, what's taking place over down there in the west, looting, robbing, raping, right, lawlessness, and that is nothing compared to what's coming on the earth, and even Jamaica. Right, it's just the beginning, yeah. So hope it is edifying to you like out there, giving our praise to our poor Yahweh Shem Shai, Shem Crash, the abundance and to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to the full like. Shalom.